Bauer, which is it's Jamie Bauer.
Take care.
What is your own relationship to the whole fantasy phenomenon? Because we're seeing it in so many incarnations in movies.
Yeah, I've always been drawn to fantasy. I've sort of always lived in a bit of a fantasy world. I've always been drawn to a good story, like work-wise, I suppose. So I guess also being English and being a bit weird, I've sort of like fantasy something that I do, I suppose.
Where do you first get the essence of a character? I mean, it's in a book, so it's on the page. But because these aren't real people, how do you create them? Do you know people like them and kind of borrow from bits and pieces?
Yeah, for this project particularly, I created a mood board. So I took pictures of myself and Lily, fan art that fans of the book series had done. And I also used real life figures. I always saw Jace as very damaged and sort of but beautiful at the same time. So people like Heath Ledger, people like River Phoenix. And then he also has this aggression as well. So I took people like James Hetfield, Kurt Cobain, so I go into my trailer every day and sort of discuss with myself, which one I was going to be.
So Jamie, what do you think?
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'm not schizophrenic, I promise.
And when you see the movie too, I mean, you have to get in shape. I mean, there's a lot of physical activity for you. How interesting is that for you? Because I presume, that maybe the gym is not your daily activity. To have to create a new person like that for yourself.
Yeah, the gym is definitely not my daily activity. It has become it now because I have to look in shape. That was tough. It was hardcore for me. But it was something that I had to do. And when I was first cast in the movie, there was a lot of negative reaction because of the way that I looked. But that was, 2.5 years ago. And I was able to get myself to the gym. And when somebody tells me that I can't do something, I will do it like much better. I'll put 150% into it. So I was like, I'm really going to push myself and go in every day, no matter how I'm feeling. So that's what I did.
You can't come clean my house. You can't. See, I was hoping that he'd come back and do it 100% better.
Exactly.
Just the last question, because the whole film deals with this essence about angels and archangels and all this other kind of stuff. How much, without getting into a religious aspect of it, about the angels in our own lives?
There are definitely angels in our own lives. I believe that some people are angels and some people, are here to guide us. They may not necessarily be aware of that, but there's absolutely something watching out for us, and I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'm blessed by it.
Well. Thank you for blessing us with your performance in this movie.
Stop it,
it's great. Oh, no. And this is Scott Orland. Until next time.
It says love always and forever, and I got one on my chest, and I got one on my arm there, and two on my legs, and one on my butt, and yeah, I'm getting a new one next week. And
Rockstar.
Sometimes, just without the guitar today. Hello, Peru. I'm Jamie Campbell Bauer from the Mortal Instruments. Would you please go and see our film, because it kicks ass.
Oh, you got a flip?
Oh yeah, I do. You're the only one who's known what it is.
I'm only the one who what?
You're the only one who's identified it. You're that.
Well, I know. I can see it. I can see the logo underneath your fingers.
I'm just trying to hide it. Is this all the craziness you expected?
I wasn't expecting anything, and it is absolutely mental.
It's insane.
I'm terrified.
I would be too.
Jamie, thank you so much for speaking with Hong Kong Tatler.
Thank you so much for having me.
Before you go to Film Aid, now, are you ready for the Tatler Quickfire? 30 questions.
So ready, born ready.
Can you describe your perfect afternoon?
My perfect afternoon would be sitting in a field, having a picnic in the British countryside.
And what's your favorite holiday spot?
My favorite holiday spot? I'm a big fan of Verbier.
What's your guilty pleasure?
Miley Cyrus.
And who's your style icon?
My father, or Mr. T.
And what advice would you give your teenage self?
Don't give up.
And what's your signature dance move?
Slut drop.
Who would play you in a film about your life?
Claire Danes.
And what's your latest obsession?
My latest obsession? Annoying my girlfriend. I'm really good at it.
And what are you most excited about tonight at Film Aid?
I'm most excited actually about telling people more about the charity. I went over to the Thai-Burmese border and went and did some work in the camp over there. And so it's going to be a real honour tonight to be able to tell everyone about that, and really how the charity itself is helping people, rather than, you know, we can deal with a lot of facts and figures when it comes to charities, but realistically we've got to talk about how it ground level affects the human beings.
And what's one thing you can't live without?
One thing I cannot live without music. I cannot live without my guitars.
Thank you so much for speaking with us.
It's not. It's not. No, don't think so.
Sweeney Todd.
Yes.
What was Johnny Depp like?
Amazing. He was incredible man. I mean, you know, I actually shot it when I was 18, I think. I just turned 18, and I was still living at school because I went to boarding school, so I was getting picked up from school at like 5 o'clock in the morning, being driven to set at Pinewood, and then dropped back. And you know, everyone else is there like doing maths or whatever, and I'm going, yeah, just on a boat with Johnny Depp, no big deal, whatever. It was the first day of shooting, and we're standing on this big boat in the middle of Pinewood Studios in this huge fan blowing our hair. And it's the first time I've ever met him, and he's standing next to me. I'm just, this is mental. And he turns to me and he goes, "Hey, Jamie, that's your biggest fan." And I thought, do you know what? That's pretty cool. Bit of a poor joke, but very cool coming from him.
And you pushed him in the water.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Get out of my shot.
Yeah, exactly. It's my close-up now, Danny. But you've worked with some amazing actors. The Prisoner, for instance, you know, Sir Ian McKellen. And I know that he really took you under his wing, didn't he?
He did, yeah. That was an amazing job for me. Like I said, you know, not having gone straight from school into work, I wasn't offered the opportunity to really go out and, I suppose, discover myself, which you know, sounds a bit weird, but a lot of people get to do as young adults. And so I was thrown into the middle of South Africa and Namibia
for months,
for about roughly 6 months. And I think for any young actor or any young performer or any young boy, that's a very daunting experience. And Ian was there and really did take us all under his wing, because you can go slightly stir crazy on set, and he was very much the one who would go, right, I think everyone's getting a little bit weird now, come over for dinner, let's all hang out, everything will be fine.
How brilliant.
Yeah, he was amazing.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
How daunted were you when sort of women all around the world fancied you when you foolishly did Twilight?
Well, it's funny, I mean, with Twilight...
You were a good vampire, by the way.
Thank you very much, thank you, yes. With Twilight, it was funny because I received a lot of attention from that movie, and I think unknowingly people paid me attention as sort of a heartthrob. But my character wasn't that at all. I was a very vicious, horrible vampire who actually on screen didn't look that fit, to be honest with you. So it was, yeah, of course it was daunting. But that was everything that I've done, I think, has really helped me progress, and not only career-wise but personally as well. I'm looking forward to the madness that will be everything behind stage that nobody else will see.
It's the first day of rehearsals, finally. It's been a 3-year journey, really excited. It's quite weird sort of seeing a bit of the set and meeting the whole cast. But yeah, really exciting.
I personally am terrified.
Your dialogue, great. Yeah, we want to dance.
And the dashing football coach, Jamie Campbell-Bower. Natalie and Lauren. Jamie, how are your Bhangra skills? And have you learned some Punjabi words?
My Bhangra skills are amazing.
They've always been good, though.
Yeah. They have. I was born that way. What can I say? Have I learned some Punjabi words? Well, yes. I mean, to steal Lauren's answer earlier, yeah, we sing Sada Chadi Kala at the end. Was that right?
Yeah.
Is that perfect?
Perfect.
Bang on. Unfortunately, I don't get to do much of that in the show, but I find myself saying the words via the feedback thing in my dressing room, and I'll sort of have a little chat to myself in Punjabi occasionally.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's quite good, actually. I'll show you later.
You'll be fluent.
I am, yeah, I will be fluent, yeah.
All three of you are stepping into big shoes. People already have an impression of the characters you're playing. Are you trying to recreate the same magic, or are you taking this with a fresh approach?
I'm taking this with a fresh approach, but everything I touch is magic. It's Jonathan, you know, obviously put his own stamp on it. I'm not doing Jonathan's accent in this. Not because I didn't want to, but because I can't. I wasn't asked to either. You know, the more I work and I'm on stage, the more Joe's becoming slightly more rock and roll, which is quite fun actually for me. It's nice, and each performance for me is is slightly different, and I'm enjoying that. But yeah, it's definitely mine, that's for sure.
Bye.